Hey you wonderful nerdy people, I'm Emily and welcome to my channel. So today we're going to actually take a step back and go back to my last video where I mentioned that I had a slight panic attack in Animal Kingdom. Now normally when I plan my trips I'm very diligent when it comes to my budgeting. I'm really good about that. I know that this amount of money that I've already spent is for the trip, and this amount of money on my gift cards is specifically for tips. But I didn't do all my research last time. Now I had heard on the TTA podcast, which I'll link down below, I heard from Rob and Christine that they had changed the policies at Disney where you used to be able to just charge everything to your room, and then at the end of your trip, no matter how long that trip was, you were able to then settle up. And that's what happened on my honeymoon. My husband and I were able to eat everywhere we wanted to, and it was fantastic, and everything got charged to the room. And then on the last day of the honeymoon, we went and settled up, and it wasn't a big deal. But I forgot what advice I heard from the TTA podcast, and I forgot that Disney had changed their policy from only charging you at the end of your trip to charging you incrementally. And I apologize, they don't actually charge you according to them. No, they just put a hold on $100 at a time on whatever card you use. And if you are like me, and you don't put things on your credit card but instead on your debit, suddenly you will get an email from your bank saying that you are under the amount you'd like to be at. So, we're in Animal Kingdom, and it was lovely. We got to spend the morning with our old roommate, and I think we had just left lunch, maybe? Yes, we had just left lunch. We were walking around Africa, and to give you an idea, we were already not in a great mood because I had booked lunch at a character buffet, which was fun, but the food wasn't amazing. And we are big on being adventurous eaters when we're on vacation, and unfortunately it was subpar Disney. It was not a good buffet. It was kind of depressing. Anyway, I digress. We had left that. We were already kind of feeling like, this isn't great. This is maybe the worst day on our trip. And we're walking around one of the little gift shops in the Africa area. And we were having fun, trying to bring the mood back up. I took a ridiculous picture with a Simba doll. And we're on our way out, and my phone buzzes. So I look. Everybody at this point knows not to text us. So I was thinking it might have been our old roommate saying to meet up with her later. And it was an alert from my bank saying that I was below the amount that I would like to be at. And I started freaking out because this was a Monday. I had gotten paid on that Friday before. And I'm like, how is this even possible? I haven't been charging anything to my card. This makes no sense. And I start going through everything that I've spent money on. I'm like, okay, no. The only thing I've spent money on was last night when we were freezing in Epcot, and I bought us those 2 sweatshirts, but I shouldn't be nearly overdrawn because of that. So my husband, who was a lot more level-headed than I was at that moment, looks at me and he goes, "Hun, we've done everything that we have wanted to do today. Let's go back to our resort, maybe call them by the time we get to the bus, and see what's going on." And I'm still in full panic mode. I am trying to figure out what happened. Was my account charged by someone else? I have no idea what has gone on. So I go into my app as we're walking out of the animal kingdom, and I'm looking, and I realize that money has been being taken out, roughly $100, a little bit over that, almost every day. I'm like, but how is this possible? I haven't. And then it dawned on me that those were cumulatively tips for a few days at a time. And I am shocked. I look at my husband, I tell him what I think is the case, and he goes, "Okay, do you want to call Riverside?" And I look at him, I'm like, I can't. I'm still a little too panicky. I cannot call them. He's like, "Okay, I'll call them." We are walking onto the bus, and my husband gets through to the front desk at Riverside, which was the hotel we were staying at, and a very lovely concierge said, "Well, are you guys on your way back?" We explained yes, we were. And they said, "This can be taken care of. It wasn't charged, it was just held." Even though it looks like it was charged, it was only held. And I'm like, okay, so the money's still there. I just can't access it. And my husband's like, "Yeah." I was like, "So by all accounts I was charged." And he's like, "Yeah." Fun. So we get to the hotel, we go to the concierge, she helps us out, she's absolutely lovely. I could not more highly recommend the cast members at Port Orleans Riverside. They were so sweet, they were attentive and kind and absolutely lovely. We had an amazing stay, and this only further solidifies that we would absolutely go back. But I'm still a little panicky, and my husband at this point is completely calm, which is amazing. And we talk to this cast member. She's like, "Okay, we can do this charge right now, either on the card if you'd like." And I go, "No, thank you." She's like, "Do you have something else you would like us to charge it on?" And I hand her our Disney gift card that I mentioned in my last video is how we like to do our tips. And she goes, "Excellent," slides it through, charges it to the gift card. I have my phone open looking at the balance, and it goes down. And then I check my phone because in my head this is all electronic and it should happen like that. I'm like, okay, it's still not in my bank account. And almost as if she's reading my mind, this cast member goes, "So you should see that hold lifted in the next 24 hours. And I breathe this huge sigh of relief. And she absolutely made my day so much better, to the point where I am now relaxed again, which was great because our plan was to go back to our hotel room, get changed for dinner, and then head over to Magic Kingdom, which is exactly what we did. But because that one cast member that we spoke to was able to flip everything on its head and turn this sour experience into something that was awesome and not a big deal, it really changed the mood of what was happening. Alright, so here comes the do as I say and not as I did portion of this video. I highly suggest listening to the advice that I had in my second video, where I said to put that tip money onto a gift card and use the gift card at the end of your meals. Don't do what my husband and I did on our last trip, where we just charged things to the room, typed in our PIN after scanning our Magic Band, and forgot about it, because once we forgot about it, that's what brought that panic attack on that Monday. And when I say panic attack, I mean I started to not be able to breathe. I've had panic attacks before. I knew that this was the beginning of one. Luckily, we were able to nip it in the bud. But yeah, guys, budget wisely. Try to pay your tips on a card at the end of your meal, especially if you're on the meal plan, or in some cash that you've kept with you, in order to budget out and not fall into a panicky moment. Anyway, this was a quick video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please like and subscribe for more nerdy Disney content. Oh, and before I forget, like I did in the last video, I own an Etsy shop. These ears are my Gaston ears, and these, I love these ones. On the front we have a bow that matches his whole aesthetic, his yellow, his red, his hunting. I've done a plaid little fabric for this, and then we have detailing here of his belt, his signature, like the Cruella de Vil ears, and then on the back, since he uses antlers in all of his decorating, I couldn't make these without some antlers. Anyway, once again, thank you so much for watching, and please like and subscribe. Bye guys!